The issue with food scraps is how do we compost them on a daily basis? That can be a smelly affair, that can be a rat infested affair, there could be a few mice involved. The beauty of this system is we're removing them out of the circle. It's contained, it gets put in the ground, there's no kind of middle space where we can get vermin involved. The Bokashi bucket is a fermentation system. We collect our food scraps in a container or a caddy of some sort on our bench top, and once a day we put our food scraps into this 2-bucket system. The bottom bucket's got some holes in. And literally we start off, as you can see this is empty. We literally will put some of this compost zinc, the magic dust as I like to call it. I just do a pinch, bit of sprinkle on the bottom. In this compost zinc, there's 70 different bacteria in there. And they're all inert in this kind of, wood chippy brown state. In the bucket, they're all starting to do their job. The beauty of this system, it tells you what you can and you can't put in here. Basically, you can put everything in here. Things like fish, meat, cooked, raw, bones, eggshells, you name it, it can go in. But the things you don't put in here, milk, oil, soup, juices, liquids. And it's so too easy, really simple. Once a day, we come along and we put our food scraps in here. And one of the reasons we're only putting them in once a day is because it's an anaerobic system. It's a non-oxygen system. We're not wanting to open the lid daily. We're not going to eat an apple, chuck it in. We're not going to make a cup of tea, throw the tea bag in. We're going to pop them in our caddy, and then once a day we're going to pop those contents in there. We grab a little bit of the composting and we sprinkle literally a pinch over the contents. It's 1 to 2 tablespoons. I've got big fingers, large pinch. As it fills up, we're going to push down the contents to push out any oxygen in there. We want it as compact as possible as we're doing that. And we can use, either a potato masher or we could use the bottom of our caddy to do that. Close it up, seal it, and put it away underneath the kitchen sink in the laundry. Comes to day 2, we come along to our caddy that's been filling up all day long, and we come along again and we pop the contents into the bucket. A little pinch of the compost thing again. As it fills up, there may be a liquid starting to gather in the bottom there. It's a highly concentrated fertilizer. We're going to pour it into a watering can, fill up the watering can, really high dilution rates, and we're going to go and water our favourite plants, or our heavy feeders, our tomato plants, our broccolis, anything that's looking, or some fruit trees, or something that's looking a little bit sad. The key to this system working, and I can't reiterate this enough, is the taking this liquid off every couple of days. If you leave the liquid in there, that's when you're going to get an unpleasant smell that you may never want to smell ever again in your life. When it's full, we're going to do a double dose of the composting. We're going to do a big pinch, sprinkle it over generously over the top, and then we're going to close the system up, put it in the laundry or back door, somewhere nice and warm for 10 to 14 days, and then we'll move to our second system. During that 10 to 14 days, don't forget to take the liquid off. Pour it in the watering can, fill up the watering can and go around and use it. So after 10 days to 2 weeks, we have to come to our first system and decide where are we going to bury it. And we have a few different options. We can come into a veggie garden, or into a flower garden, or into an orchard even. And we're going to dig a hole, similar dimensions to the bucket, empty the contents in, chop the sides up and cover it up with about 10 to 15 centimetres of soil. But in the depths of winter, if you're living somewhere cold as we do, and you're not feeling so enthusiastic about that digging process, and the ground might be frozen, we can do a few different things. One option is if you have a glass house or a tunnel house, the ground in there is not going to be frozen, and so all winter long you can be burying it into there. And come the spring, you've got this amazingly fertilised tunnel house or glass house. The other option is if your soil isn't that deep as well, you can do a trench, and you could empty the contents into the trench and again 10 to 15 centimetres of soil on top. The other option is you come along to a compost bin, like a black compost bin or a compost bay, and you literally open it up and empty the contents in, and again cover it up. And if that's a cold compost heap, it's not going to heat it up, but it's going to add some bacteria in there. It's going to give it a little bit of a boost and help the rest of the compost heap break down. The beauty of when we bury it in the soil is that within 2 weeks it breaks down into a compost. At the same time, because of all the biology that we've inoculated with the Bokashi zinc, the zinc Bokashi, we're inoculating the soil, so we're putting all that organic matter in there plus the biology. And it's those biological relationships in the soil that we're really after. A healthy soil will lead to healthy plants. One of the great bonuses of this system is you'll start seeing your worm population rise rapidly. They're just going to love the organic matter you're putting in there, the bacteria that's involved. It's just a win-win. You could do a test bed, and I've had people come to workshops saying they've done, one bed just normal, how they would normally fertilise a bed, and another bed they've just used Bokashi, and the differences they've noticed are phenomenal. You're going to see plants increase in size by 1/3 or even double in size. It's not like it's not magic. You're just inoculating the soil with all this organic matter, but the biology is what is king here. And that's why a lot of very enthusiastic gardeners are doing Bokashi, just because of the benefits they're getting in their veggie garden. And you're saving yourself dollars. You're not having to spend big bucks on buying fertilizers buying horse poo from the side of the road. This could be a one-stop system, depending on the size of your garden, of course.